it's Monroenixx, and today I'm going to be doing a video showing you guys my first time ever trying to do an epoxy resin canvas art project. It's a very trendy project happening right now and I've been wanting to try it. So I picked up some supplies and we are going to try it today, and I'm going to record my whole first time experience for you guys. One item that you are going to definitely need is an epoxy resin pour kit. This is just a trial kit that I got from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can get them at both locations. This was about $35. If you want to get like the big gallon sets, it'll cost you about $110 online. There's a very popular brand online. But since I've never done it before and I'm just doing a trial, I have stuck to a smaller size from my local craft store. A few more supplies you are going to need are rubber gloves. A lot of the directions call for gloves when using the epoxy resin, so I went to my local Dollar Tree and picked those up. Another thing you can get at your local Dollar Tree is a plastic measuring cup to make sure that you measure exactly 1 part epoxy resin, 1 part hardener for your project. Some more items that I have picked up from the Dollar Tree are some plastic cups, because we're going to need to mix some different colors in the epoxy resin, so that's what these smaller cups are for. I could only get one a few ounces larger, and that's going to be where we do our color mix and our flip pour part. Another item you are going to need that you can get at your local dollar store, Dollar Tree, is craft sticks, because you need these to stir up your epoxy resin. It requires a lot of stirring. Another item you are going to need to do this project is acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is what you are going to mix into your different pools of epoxy resin to make it a pigmented color. And the last supply that you are going to need today for this project is canvases. I have this bowl here as well because I need, or you don't really need, but it's preferred to have something to set your canvas on so that the solution can pour down the edges. And with that being said, we are going to move on. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do is to look at the directions for the epoxy resin. Each epoxy resin calls for a different amount of hardener and resin. Most of them, if you're lucky, will call for 1 part resin, 1 part hardener exactly. This one requires double the amount of mixing, meaning I'm going to have to mix each one separately, and then when I mix them together, mix a whole lot. First thing I'm going to do before I start mixing the epoxy resin together is I'm going to pick what colors I want my epoxy resin to be pigmented, because it says do not wait, pour it immediately. So since I have picked 6 different acrylic paint colors that I would like for my epoxy resin to be tinted, I'm now going to set out 6 cups on a board that I have over here, just so that it's not on the floor, because my floor is carpet and I don't want the cups to fall over. Another item that you will need for this art project that is optional, it's not required, is a blowtorch, propane tank, or butane tank, and you will go over the canvas with it at the end to pop the bubbles, but it's optional because in the directions for this one, it says that you can just exhale on it with your dirty hot breath and it will also pop the bubbles. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is mix the 1 part epoxy resin and the 1 part hardener first in separate cups for 2 minutes, and then mix them together for an additional 1 minute. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is measure 1 cup of the resin. I'm going to set a timer on my phone so that I know that I'm mixing exactly for 2 minutes. How is 2 minutes? Okay. I'm going to attempt to pour the exact same amount of hardener into another cup. Now I'm going to take another stir stick and stir the other batch for another 2 minutes as well. Alright, now I'm going to mix them together and stir for an additional 1 minute. Trying to work fast because I didn't want the resin to have to sit for very long. So I'm just going to stir that just a little bit more before I mix them together. Alright, now I have to mix this for an additional 1 minute. My hand is cramping very badly. Alright, now I'm going to pour the resin into my 6 individual cups and mix in the acrylic paint. Alright, so this is where the fun and the magic is getting ready to really happen. Off view, I am pouring the mix into some individual cups. And I'm going to get another popsicle stick and scrape out all the extra mix that I can. I hope this works because it says that if you don't mix it correctly, it won't. So now that I've poured that, I'm going to put another pair of clean gloves on. And, well, actually, I'm just going to start by mixing the color in. Alright, so now that I've put the 6 different colors in, I'm going to add another pair of gloves and I'm going to mix those in with the paint. The paint and the resin in the 6 different cups together. So now I'm going to lay my canvas down and I'm going to pour each different resin into one big cup. I'm not going to stir the big cup that I am mixing all of the colors into. Alright, so now that I have poured each different color into my cup, I'm going to do the cup flip technique. I'm already having a hard time with it. I got this though, I swear. I'm just gonna be brave with it. Alright, are you guys ready for this? This is where the fun begins. So now I am moving the canvas in different directions to spread the pigment and the paint around. I'm sorry that most of this is out of view right now. Alright, so to add some more color and some cells, I'm going to individually pour some colors on here. Now I'm going to move the painting around some more to get those colors flowing. I might actually just leave the edges white because it kind of does account for a really interesting effect on the canvas altogether as a whole. So I've just been shifting the canvas around to manipulate the direction that the mixture of acrylic paint and epoxy resin are moving. Alrighty, so I guess this is going to be my finished canvas. I like the way that it dripped off the edges and didn't fully fill the canvas, and I think I'm going to leave it like that because it gives the canvas quite a bit of character. Alright, so I have enough epoxy resin that I'm going to do a whole nother pour, and I forgot to record on the previous one that I treated it with the blowtorch. So instead of doing the flip cup technique at all, I'm just going to do a straight pour. Now I am once again going to shift the canvas around entirely. Trying to get this last corner. And there it is for you guys to see. Now we're gonna let that sit and drip, and I'm gonna cure it with the blowtorch. I now know firsthand why they tell you to wear gloves, because this crap is hard to wash off. All right, so now I have the blowtorch. I'm going to cure it. And what this does is this is popping the air bubbles. So now I just have to wait. Let me look at the directions real quick. 72 hours. If I did not mix it correctly, it will not cure correctly. So this was my first time experimenting with epoxy resin and acrylic paint on canvas. I appreciate you watching this tutorial slash video slash experiment. I am sorry for the poor quality. If you would like better quality, please subscribe. Please follow my Facebook where you can see my modeling pictures. You will also be able to find my shop where these canvases will be listed for sale if they cure correctly, which I will add that into the description of the video. Links to my Facebook and my online shop are also going to be in the description. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, thumbs it up. Please subscribe for more. Thank you.